Hello, my super friends. Welcome to your super new moon in Scorpio reading. This is going to be happening on November 4th. It's going to be at its newest at 3:14 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So wherever you're at in the world, you can adjust that to see where that is going to be at its newest for you. Now, normally new moons are all about the newness because it's starting the new cycle, but with it being Scorpio, there is this extra rebirth energy that is around it. So you've got, your birth, your death, and your rebirth. It's like like a phoenix. You know how they originally rise from the ashes and grow, and then they build a nest to set on fire and things to go back to ashes and have a rebirth. And that is very Scorpio-ish because Scorpio is all about transformation. They transform from a scorpion to a snake to an eagle to a phoenix. So they're very transformative, and so that energy is really around this. It's like this, with the new moon, there's hardly any light. So it does feel a little dark during the new moon, but it is a time that we face our shadow. So it's our little shadow time where we get to dance with our shadow and understand, about what is blocking us, what is chaining us, what's holding us back. So with this new moon, we also get a burst of new energy with that rebirth. So as that phoenix takes flight on a new journey with that super new moon energy, it is a very magical time for us as well. So even though it feels dark, when you rise from the ashes and that phoenix catches on fire, right? And it shows the flames coming from its wings, and you are this brightness in that dark times. You get to see your inner light more and more when it's dark out, not when it's bright sun shining out, right? What's amazing too is the last full moon we had in Scorpio was back in April 26th, and that was a pink super full moon. And so there's also this cycle that happens just monthly. We go through the cycle of the new moon to the full moon back to the new moon, but also over a 6-month period ish, you go from a new moon in a sign to a full moon in a sign back to a new moon in a sign. So you have this big cycle of energy that are happening, these 12 different cycles that are happening throughout a year, actually, right? Because every 6 months you go through this different sign of new moon to full moon. And so you have these 12 separate annual cycles happening with each of those influences of those zodiac signs. So if you look back around April 26th to really look at that pink super full moon, what was going on then was a time of releasing negative energy. So I was talking about like a dance with your shadow. You were becoming familiar with it because you were dancing with it, seeing it eye to eye, right? And during that time, you see what no longer serves you. And so you started to let go of things and making room for new things. Because after a full moon, as you're moving to the new moon, once you reach that culmination of a full moon, then it's like, what am I releasing to make room for new growth when the new moon comes around? So with this new moon in Scorpio happening, you are left dancing with your shadow, and you get to see what's new. What new dance steps are you going to develop as you begin a new dance routine over the next 6 months. So as we go into this reading, we're kind of going to look at what has my feet chained, what's keeping me from dancing so fluently, what's impacting my rhythm. So that's what we're going to look at for the specific reading for your sign, and we're going to jump into that right now. All right, all my Geminis, this is your reading for the super new moon in Scorpio. And I didn't mention in the intro, why is this a super new moon, and why was the, full moon back in April super? The orbit of the moon around the Earth is not like this perfect circle. It's, really this oval kind of orbit. So when the Earth is in the middle and the moon comes this close, it's so close that it feels super. It's bigger. Like a full moon, when it's super, is because it's so much closer, it appears bigger because it is in a closer orbit to us. And so when the new moon is on that return place, then that is when it becomes super as well. So it's much more closer, has much more impact. That energy is there, the tides and all those things. That's what impacts us, is this rotation. And so the veil is also very thin around that time, because that energy is so much more impactful than when it's on its further away. So you'll feel it in that way. So that's why it's super. And we're going to jump in and see what the Creator wants you to know about this period around this new moon, because it's going to be a magical time. We're going to use this magic of Unicorn's Oracle and just see what the Creator wants you to know. And we're going to focus in on the period, like the week before the new moon, up to 2 weeks after the new moon, up into the time of the next full moon. Creators, so for our Geminis, what do you want them to know about their new moon journey? It has open your heart, love yourself, dare to be vulnerable. I love that. Beautiful card there. And that's number 9. And so we were asking, what's chained your feet from dancing this new dance, right? What's limiting your rhythm? And this has to do about how you're loving yourself is what's limiting you. So definitely a beautiful awareness, and I love the energy that's going to come for you because of that. And it says there are 33 chambers in your heart chakra, all containing lessons of love. Your heart is open to the extent that you have mastered these. A warm and loving heart enfolds other people so that they feel safe and loved, and in return, they love you. As your heart opens and you feel free to share your feelings, you also allow yourself to be vulnerable, so people immediately trust you and feel close to you. This card reminds you to be generous and giving of yourself. Your guidance is to breathe into your heart and ask your unicorn to illuminate the center with its horn of diamond light. When it pours pure love into all the chambers of this chakra and lights them up, this dissolves any old hurts or blocks you may still have. Most important of all, appreciate yourself. Be kind to yourself. Feel your heart becoming warm and expansive. Your unicorn is reminding you that when you love and value yourself, any lower emotions dissolve in the glow of your inner worth. Then you become caring and compassionate towards humans and animals. You radiate unconditional love and acceptance towards all sentient beings, and they respond with kindness. You see the loving essence of others, and your path becomes happier. Opening your heart is the greatest possible way to light up your journey, for an open heart attracts help, kindness, true friendships, and all the support you need from the human, animal, and angelic worlds. Wow. So it says open your heart, close your eyes, and focus on your heart chakra. Rub your chest and sense it becoming warm. Visualize the spiral of 33 chambers. And then ask your unicorn to illuminate them all. See the light spreading until your entire heart chakra is ablaze. Breathe in to the experience and thank your unicorn. Lovely. And the affirmation for this card is, my unicorn lights up my heart. Beautiful. I am blown away. I really love that. honestly, it's the first time I heard about the 33 chambers of the lessons of the heart. But that makes total sense with the numerology around number 33. So definitely what is coming to your awareness during this new moon period, when we're talking about what change your feet, what's limiting your rhythm, is about how much you are allowing yourself to love yourself, right? The beautiful thing is that in our life, we can only love others in the physical world to the extent we love ourselves, and we can only accept love from others in the external world to the extent we love ourselves. So if we only love ourselves like this much, then that's how much love we can give, and that's how much love we can receive from the outside world. And as our self-love grows and that pipeline clears and becomes larger, then that's the extent we can love and receive love as well. So I love just how that represents there. And you can see the heart. You can see, like it mentions, the diamond horn touching the heart and filling all those chambers and allowing that love to flow. So beautiful, beautiful. Love that imagery. Well, next we're going to pull some cards here from this Light Seers Tarot. And what we have been doing, and what I'm going to continue to do until they tell me otherwise, is we pull a card representing the week before the new moon, a week after the new moon, and then 2 weeks after the new moon, right before the next full moon. So we'll see what the Creator wants you to know about each of those weeks for that period. All right, Creator, so for our Geminis for the week before the new moon, what would you like them to know about that period? Okay. It's like, okay, all three. Wow, okay, very good. And then what about, okay, the week after, and then the second week after the new moon. Okay, my goodness. So you have a lot to unpack here, which is all right. So the week before the full moon, you've got the Seven of Cups, and cups are our emotions. And so this makes total sense with the seven. It's like this confusion normally about, like, you feel like in this dreamy state and kind of confused and not sure what to choose, etc. But I really feel like because of those 33 chambers, these are like representative of all these chambers, and you're like, okay, there's all these emotions and things you've experienced that are, I wouldn't say they're coming to light, but the light is coming to them. And here's the Queen of Wands, which Wands is all about the fire energy, the light, your spiritual energy in this case. And so, it's like this light that's coming. This is the magic wand, and it's bringing this light into all of that, and see all those candles. So it's like all those 33 chambers are being lit up, and so it's the week before that is happening for you there. I love that visualization there. And then you have the Judgment card here, which is all about connecting to your higher self. So you're realizing, this is you as your humanness, and you're really connecting to this higher spiritual unconditional love, this higher self of yours as well. So as those, like it mentioned, as this light shines into those, all those chambers, it really lights it up, and the old ways of feeling, the old ways of being fall away. And this is like this rebirth that we were talking about, like the phoenix almost. It's like you rise from this human side of yourself. And usually the Judgment card even shows like a coffin and people rising up out of it, and realizing that you're more than the human side. You're so much more than that. So this opening of your heart happens because you are experiencing that energy of unconditional love. This new moon energy that's coming in is just really burning away, literally, as that light fills up those chambers. all those memories, all those hurts that you had from the past are what are being removed. They're being moved. I wouldn't say removed, because we do come here to experience those. There was nothing wrong about the pain that you received from the past, because we came here to experience what it would feel like to be hurt, what it might feel like to be betrayed, what it might feel like, to feel small. And so all that, we still like keeping a photo album so that we can share when we go back to the other side and go, oh, look, this is when I felt betrayal. Oh my God, it was so dark and so shadowy. It was so delicious, because we don't experience that on the other side. So we're able to show it, and we keep that because we didn't go through this to erase it and forget it. We came through it to experience it. But there is this time in our life when we're ready to transform our journey and to go through this rebirth, like we talked about with the phoenix, because you were born as a human, and then you kind of go through this human type death where you realize you are reborn as this hybrid between your human self and your higher self, and you're able to walk more hand in hand upon the earth, right? And so this is this awareness, because this 20 does break down to a 2 plus 0 is 2, of course. And so this always brings this message of there's two of me inside of me, experiencing this life, not just the human side, but I have my powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being self that's made of unconditional love that can walk with me upon this earth. And that's what this card brings. That's all before the new moon hits, so you're already sensing and feeling that energy as it's coming in. Yeah, and then here you go, you have the strength card here. And this is beautiful, because the message that comes with this card, for me, it's all about our duality. Again, it's like a lot of what I just said with this judgment card, the two of you that live here, because the lion, usually in the picture, it shows the lion by itself, and with a female presence on there as well. And the lion is our human side, the little small self, and it comes here, it's hungry, it's thirsty, and it's told to search for your love, search for your, what you're thirsty for and hungry for out here that's going to fulfill you. And you're like, okay. So the lion goes out there and it eats, and it's like, I'm still hungry. Might fill you for a second, but you're hungry moments later. It's like American Chinese food. You eat it, and then an hour later, you're like, I'm starving. Or you drink something, like you drink soda, and it's full of sodium, and it's not quenching your thirst. It actually makes you thirstier. So the lion is getting desperate, because the more he eats, the hungrier he feels, and the more he drinks, the thirstier he becomes. So he's going through the jungle roaring, and because he's hangry, that hungry, angry feeling. And so our higher self, which you always see that they have the infinity symbol, so our infinite self, she is made of unconditional love, right? Our higher self is made of unconditional love. And I love how it's, of course, wearing a heart around her neck, just to prove that in this card. And so our higher self hears and feels what our small self, our lion self, is going through. And so they come to calm us down, right? And they don't come and, to stab us with a sword and put us out of our misery. They don't cage us because they think we're dangerous. It doesn't try to tame us with a chair and a whip like they do in all those circus movies, It's like, no, she brings us what we were hungry for all along, which is the unconditional love of who we are. So she comes down and she gives that lion a big hug and fills it with that unconditional love. And then that lion transforms from this roaring lion in the jungle to this purring little lion cub sitting on her lap, feeling loved and safe for the first time in its life, right? And so this is what is happening. So you're getting all this beautiful energy coming in the week before the new moon, and this is like you really embracing it and taking that in, that love, the week after the new moon. So perfect. And then 2 weeks after, Yeah. So you've got your, this is the number 9, and this is number 18, the moon, which breaks down to a 9. And this is all about moon energy, right? So the moon energy really is connecting to our higher self as well. It has our light self and our shadow self joining together. And the moon energy is this, gets you into your subconscious. It gets you into those higher realms. That's what the high priestess, she takes time away in her temple to connect to that moon energy, to connect to the divine feminine, to connect to that nurturing. The moon is like mother nature, mother nurture energy. And so this is beautiful, loving energy. We're all talking about moon energy, already. So this is definitely to look into that. And then you have the 7 of Wands. So you move from the 7 of Cups, like this place of confusion and, all those emotions being dealt with. And then here you are in this bubble of love. And Wands is your spirit energy, and you can see she's finding from her inner self, like it talked about in this card, you're finding that inner love, and it's just creating this bubble of love. And you have people on the outside poking at your bubble, because what happens when you start filling up with self-love is you'll have a group of people that will be like inspired and impacted by that love. They'll embrace the love that is filling you up and flowing out of you, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I want what you have, right? And then you'll have the other group that is this poking people that are like, hey, we don't like that you're doing that, and they feel afraid of the unknown, they feel threatened by it. And so they're like, come back here and be miserable with the rest of us, because misery loves company. Come back to the miserable place you were before all this. We miss you, but you don't, this shows you your strength, like it was talking about. You got the strength card here. It talked about strength in there too. You have the strength to maintain that self-love because it's unconditional and it's not impacted by the outside world because it's coming from inside you. It's like being happy for no reason at all, and then no one can take it away from you. It's like you love yourself just because of who you are. There's no condition to earn it. There's no condition to lose it. So you have this unconditional love just filling you up. The lion is purring and is like, purring in the lap. You're like, nope, I'm not going to be bothered by everyone. I'm sitting here in this bubble of love. Yeah. And then you have the 9 of Pentacles. So this is about feeling self-fulfilled. She's in the garden by herself, just with her winged higher beings of unconditional love hanging out. So you do feel whole and complete and independent by yourself. So I love that. And beautiful, beautiful reading here. We're also going to pull, since this is like this new journey that you're on, the phoenix coming from the ashes and flying into its new journey, we're also going to pull a card here from the Cosmic Journey Oracle. We're going to see what else the Creator wants you to know. The last message for this reading for you. Creator, for our Geminis, what's your final message for this new moon? For them, please. Okay, that's the one right there. Yep, and you have the Alchemical Artiste, number 10. I love all the new moons on this card. How convenient is that? And 10, of course, is endings and new beginnings, so totally fitting for this as well. Let's see what this talks about here. It says, go ahead. The world is ready for you. The real you. The true and authentic you that you have been hiding somewhere because someone once told you it's not okay to be fully seen. There's no reward for being falsely humble. Your brilliance and luminosity don't diminish the light of anyone else. It only gives others permission to come forward fully too, like that Seven of Wands, right? It's people that will become intimidated by it. That's what it's happening for a reason. You're shining light, and they're going, "Oh my God, there's something else besides this human side. Oh my gosh!" Some people get scared by it, other people get intrigued by it. But in either case, it's your purpose, right? It says, "Life simply wants more life. Your role is to become the fullest expression of the life you've been blessed with in your playful purpose here. Now," capital N-O-W. And the cosmic catalyst it mentions is, "When and why did I first diminish my light? Who played a role, knowingly or unknowingly, in diminishing it?" And the cosmic checkbox says, "Look at each of the names you wrote out," and when you ask yourself that question, "and send love and forgiveness toward that person." Beautiful. Yes, and forgiveness, I know when that word comes up and you have pain and hurt, from the past, you're like, I don't want them to get away with it. I'm not going to let them repeat that in my life. We start having this fear that we're going to go through it again. But the beautiful thing is forgiveness really doesn't have a whole lot to do with the other person. The angst and the emotion that we hold and maintain within us towards someone else, on the story we put around their actions about our worth, right? All that pain we chose to experience because of those other people's actions is like us taking a poison and thinking that it's going to impact the other person. The poison is in with us. So the forgiveness is us letting the wrath go, letting all that judgment, letting all that shadowy type energy we hold toward the other person go. We don't need to invest energy in it anymore. You're smart, you're intelligent, you're a Gemini. You're not going to let that stuff happen again because you're not going to let it. And you have the power not to let it happen, right? So you can let it go. You can forgive, let the wrath go, remember it, but you don't have to rehash it and rehearse it. There was this old, I forget what the name of it was, but it was like this phrase that goes, don't nurse it, don't rehearse it, but disperse it so God can reverse it. I still remember it. Yeah. So it's like that. Don't nurse it. Keep it, I'm going to make sure that angst and everything continues. Don't rehearse it. Don't be, okay, everyone, this is what happened to me. This is what happened to me. This is what happened to me. It's that rehearsing the scene over and over and over and over again. Right. And then, but disperse it, let it go, forgive it. And then God is able to reverse it. That beautiful energy of love is able to reverse the impact of that energy on our lives. So I love that. Beautiful, beautiful energy coming through. You're this alchemist of your heart. All those things in your heart that, those old things of that hurt, like it mentioned, you're bringing that light in and you're transforming that. Beautiful, beautiful transformational energy for this beautiful, super new moon in Scorpio. So just know as you're going throughout this period, every moment of every day of your life, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things and a host of beings of unconditional love and light. I do like to let everyone know too that in addition to these new moon and full moon readings, I also do a monthly reading by zodiac sign. Also do like weekly element readings by zodiac element, and a variety of other readings as well. So if you want to be notified when those come in, all you have to do, if you haven't done so already, is hit the subscribe button down below, and then a little bell icon will appear. And so just click on that bell icon and you can, set whatever notifications you want to receive. And that way you're kept in the loop as you go along. So if you feel inclined to do that, do so. Also, if you enjoy these readings, if you give me a little thumbs up, if you feel like doing so, that does help out the channel and helps spread the love to other people as well. So if you feel led to do that, I greatly appreciate it. All right, well, I'm going to leave it at that. Just know that I love you dearly. And until next time, I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. Have a wonderful new moon, and you take care.